Hey, good morning, folks. I'm your host, BKP. It's good to be back in Ellijay, Georgia this morning. 68 degrees there, 8 a.m. And it's good to be home. You know, you like to get away and take a trip from time to time, but it's always good to be home, good to be back in the studio. Thank you. I don't want to say get this out of the way. How does that sound? But I want to thank Rick and Jane for Wednesday. I want to thank Josh for... people were telling me, Josh, we got some things to go over about the way we did the location show Thursday, as far as some things I'd like to do a little different next time, because that's the first time. But I actually got text messages that said that was seamless. So great job in the studio here in Ellijay producing Thursday's show. And I'll give a shout out and thank all of our guests Friday, and give a big shout out to Lauren Hunter and Josh for handling Friday's show. So good to be back this morning. Much needed break, not just for me, much needed break for my wife. So I'm glad she was able to get away for a couple days. Maybe she would have liked to got away from me. Oh, wow, I said that out loud. No, just joking. But much needed break. Thank you very much. But it's good to be back. Watching the social media and the weather, I hope everybody's okay this morning. A lot of damage here in North Georgia through the storms. Power, I hope everybody's okay. Let's get this rolling. Now, the question of the day. All right. And I will tell you this, okay? I have pondered this question. I've read articles. Okay, I read articles, and we're gonna get. First of all, this is how you get in touch with us. Okay, I don't want to joke around. All right, I know what you might think. Way too serious for a Monday morning, but I'm going to talk about President Donald J. Trump. I want to talk about his move on the. Put that back up for a minute, Josh, because I want you folks at home to realize you can email me, you could text us, and all the social media ways, because I want to hear what you think, all right? So you can take that down. Now, I want to hear what you think. I put it on social media this morning. Put up number 33. I want to know, this is 4 a.m. right out of the box with CNN. I was up there at 4 a.m. There you go. First thing coming up. Trump's Iran strategy. So I don't want to be silly and joke around, because a lot of days that's the only way you can talk about Democrats, is just try to joke around, because they are a joke. But that being said, I spent a lot of time thinking about Trump's strategy. Okay? Now, we have a situation where boats or tankers that are not flying the American flag. Okay, Ronald Reagan, when tankers were attacked or cargo ships were attacked, he flew the American flag, which says, "Hey, you better not touch this ship." Anyhow, moving right along. So we had tankers, and a Japanese business owner, big tanker. We had a couple tankers that. Our intelligence, Mike Pompeo, State Department, and the mustache, John Bolton, we're hearing back that those attacks on the tankers came from Iran. The Revolutionary Guard, is that what they are? Now, Trump has named the Revolutionary Guard a terrorist organization. That's the military arm of Iran, right? Is that who they are? But he's labeled them a terrorist organization. Then we have an unmanned drone, okay? Now, if you do the research, we're not going to take a lot of time on this because you guys are great at your own research. If you do the research and look, I think this is $180 million, okay? And these drones gather information for us, and they coordinates and all kinds of stuff, strike points where we could strike. And so we have an unmanned drone that's up there. And if you look over Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, I mean, just look around the world and Google how many of our drones have been shot down. I don't know. That's not where we're going. So we have an unmanned drone shot down. Okay? And Iran is really just escalating and wanting us to get into a fight. Okay? Now, Trump said that he asked for a casualty count. Now, one of the things the media cannot take is whether you agree with Trump's strategy or you don't agree with it. Because many are getting up this morning saying, Trump's Iran strategy. Now, I will tell you this. He is, this is a two-bird with one stone situation, because we'll get there in a minute, but don't forget, the Democrat, okay, the Democrat debates start this week, two-night event. And Trump made a strategic move with Iran. But he's also given Democrats, 3 full days to say stupid stuff. I'm sorry, it's the only way, just to say something stupid concerning Iran. Okay? And he is setting, remember, everything that Trump has done. ICE raids, okay, we'll get into that. The ICE raids that did not take place. The Iran strategy, okay, everything Trump has done is setting them up for Wednesday night. He's extracting, I'll get into that in a minute. Let's go back to Trump's strategy. So, Trump doesn't have an appeasement strategy like Obama and Kerry. First of all, if we went down the road of John Kerry, actually, and Valerie Jarrett, don't forget, Valerie Jarrett is Iranian. She's Iranian. Valerie Jarrett's Iranian. Don't forget, Valerie Jarrett was with Barack Obama in Chicago, came to Washington, D.C. with Barack Obama. She is one of the few. Every time they give you, this big speech about Trump and the turnover in his White House, yeah, he's got a lot of turnover. We'll go there. But no matter what president in the United States you have, as far as chief of staff, top strategery, as George W. would say, whatever, okay? Foreign policy, it doesn't matter. Very few people go 8 years. Very few go 8 years. So keep in mind when you're doing your research, Valerie Jarrett, okay? Come from Chicago with Obama, Iranian born. I know you say it, I'm just being coincidental. Stayed all 8 years with Obama, all the way through the Iranian deal with John Kerry and Obama that they signed, this bad deal. And when he left the White House, she is the shadow government for the Obamas. Just saying there. So, staying with the Iranian strategy. Okay. Let me make a comment on the 150 casualties, okay? First of all, America does not have the appetite for war. Now, we're not going to accept being pushed around. We're not going to accept when we see during the Obama administration, okay, Iranians and our soldiers on their knees like this at gunpoint, on one of those little boats, we're not going to be okay with that. Trump's not going to be okay with that. But I, for one, want to know what we got for our $6 trillion that we spent. Now, what's interesting is people started putting a value on life. Hell, you say. Now, I said this the other day. Don't forget, you could do your own research. Iran is responsible, before this man became president, way before Donald Trump ever became president, okay? Iran was responsible, George W. Bush, which, no, I do not miss George W. Bush, okay? George W. Bush, all right, replenished the missile supply for these military contractors, and a lot of our kids were killed. You go on social media, you talk about veterans, taking care of our veterans. You know what? It breaks my heart every time I go in there and see these kids. And I call them kids that are in their 30s, that are missing legs, missing arms. A $6 trillion war. What did we get? What did we get in a $6 trillion war? Go to number 4, and then I want to go back to this one. I'll be ready to go back to this one. Now check those missiles outside. That's one. I don't want to cast all the shadow on Raytheon, but that's one. You realize when we stockpile missiles, they have to build them. Like I said, I don't want to just take them, but look at those missiles. Back to number 1. So $6 trillion we spent. I don't know what we got for it exactly in Afghanistan and Iraq. I don't know. Maybe you do. All right? We have a lot of kids that got killed over there. Okay? I mean, Iran is responsible for, I think, as high as 27% of the casualties in Iraq. They're the ones that were in Iraq killing our kids, Iran. Okay? So Trump becomes, now, Obama is president. We appease Iran. Every time they got mad, we gave them money. See, do your own research of how much money the Obama administration gave Iran. It didn't matter how much they were chanting death in the streets, death to America. It did not matter how many times the Ayatollah was yelling that, they want to wipe Israel off the face. It didn't matter. The Obama administration, their dealing with Iran was to appease them, to give their money back. Do your own research. I keep saying that. Do your research. We froze their assets. You judge this man on the screen. We froze their assets when they took, was it 50 Americans hostage? I forget how many were hostage. 50 Americans hostage? We froze their assets. Guess what? When we unfroze them, we gave them interest and everything. We gave them all their money. Obama appeased these people. Obama wrote a phony. If you believe that they're enriching uranium and they're coming out of their deal they made, a terrible deal they made with America and the rest of the world, the nuclear deal, you're badly mistaken. Now, let me say this, okay? When President Trump, remember, when he became President of the United States, or when he was in the transition, they couldn't spend enough time on the deep state media in fear of him having the nuclear codes, in fear of what he would do if we are provoked. You can go back for 2 years and you could go over and over all kinds of video of the deep state media. What would he do if provoked? We're in fear. Well, we got to get him out of the White House. If just provoked, what would he do? Right? Rocket Man, I'll wipe you off the face of the earth. He hasn't done anything to him. Right? But what if he was provoked? What would he do? Would he have the demeanor? Would he have, could he pause? Could he reflect? Could he listen? How many, if you go back in the last 2 years, how many stories from the deep state media of who has Trump's ear? Why, how many stories from the deep state media of we can't trust him at these times not to just... Will he listen to the top generals? Will he take advice? The media has wanted you to live in fear of this man and him having nuclear... We went through his cognitive functions. We have gone through early stage. They have diagnosed him on these networks of early stage of dementia. All the above. Now, before I get to my first break, Trump's Iran strategy. Let me say this, okay? He asked for a casualty count. Pretty damn responsible. Well, anybody would have done that. No, if you would listen to the way they want to make the American people think that this guy is just the biggest idiot in the world, he's dumb as hell, he asked for a casualty count. He had a war room meeting, a situation room, and he didn't have Beyonce laid out on the situation table and her boyfriend with his feet up on the table. It was serious. He had Nancy. I mean, he didn't say who's the Democrat. He had them in the situation room. They went all the way around the room. They all made a decision that retaliation of some form was in order. He listened to everybody. He listened to generals. He pulled all the strategic plans. This guy did. He allowed the military to lay all the strategic plans. And then he said, what's the body count? Casualty. Give me casualty numbers. Mr. President, around 150 civilians. And he said, not going to do it. I had an unmanned drone, $180 million drone. It's not proportional. And then there's the one yelling, but Mr. President, they did this, they did this. All right, let me say this, okay? Iran's trying to pick a fight. They're in big trouble over there. Now, when they were uprising in the streets of Iran with Obama and Joe Biden, right? When they were uprising in the streets with Obama and Joe Biden, we did not pull the Iranian people across the threshold of a rebellion to end that regime, that evil regime as it is. We did not do our part, okay? Now, Trump has put excruciating sanctions on them. They have no money. It's dried up. There's no American. Trump is not allowing Swiss banks to funnel cash illegally from America, which Obama and Biden did that. Obama and Biden had to run our cash through a bank because we couldn't directly give Iran cash. Anyhow, that being said, Trump is not allowing these cash deals to run through other banks in Iran. He has the sanctions tightened down on them that they are so upset they don't know what to do. Their people, their inflation is through the roof. Unemployment's through the roof. It's a disaster there. They are hurting, and they're trying to pick a fight for the visual in the world, for the visual for their people. We always get up in the morning and we think about, although we have the deep state media, we have all these pieces of garbage media that broadcast all over the TV and show us things. They don't. Their people are restricted in what they see. So you might think, well, they shot down a drone. We should retaliate. How will the 150 people remember Hillary Clinton and Susan Rice went on the morning shows and tried to sell you, the American people, the lie that a video that was made agitated, a anti-Islamic or Muslim video, is what agitated these people in Benghazi to kill Ambassador Stevens, and an uprising in Egypt was this video. Now, if it was Obama, anything, his administration, that they felt agitated the region, they wouldn't do it. But this guy stops on 150 casualty count, knowing what it's going to be spun into. The Iranian government's going to spin it into, all right? You remember in Iraq, we supposedly blew up milk factories and the children? He knew what it was going to get spun into. He knew he was going to kill 150 innocent people. It was going to get spun in Iraq that we attacked them. And I'm going to explain in more detail this strategy of pulling back. I got a lot of respect for it, because let me tell you something. Kids, listen up. You turn 18 years old, you get all excited, you're going to go over to the voting booth and you're going to get to vote for the first time in your life. You're 18 years old. And usually, not for myself, but usually you'll watch 18-year-olds vote in a much more liberal way, obviously. But then there's the day your son or daughter, now at one point it was your son, okay? It was one point it was your son, now it's your son or daughter. But now you have a child and you look over at that child and you say, okay, that child's 16 years old. So you're looking over at your 16-year-old and you're looking at the presidential election. And you look at the candidate and say, this candidate, as President of the United States, could send my son or daughter to war. I will tell you, you don't have to believe that. I'm a firm believer that that's about the time for some Americans your vote changes. That's about the time when you look at somebody and say, this individual could send my son or daughter to war. I'll never forget the first vote I cast for President of the United States, knowing that that president would be the one that could send my son to war. It was a little different, whether you want to believe that or not. I don't think we need to go to war with Iran. I think we just tighten those sanctions up today. I think also the underground media, the Twitter feeds, I'm going to explain when I get back why this guy tweets out all the time, especially about Iran, okay? I'm going to give you that when we get back. We're going to talk about the South Carolina fish fry, okay? We're going to talk about the South Carolina fish fry. We're going to talk about Joe Biden and the MSNBC debates this week. And those poor children sleeping on concrete floors at the border with lice. Just a crisis. We're going to talk about that. Folks, let me go back to this really quick, okay? Number 4. MSNBC and the deep state media, they're rattling the drums wanting to go to war with Iran, okay? Now, the only reason I bring up Raytheon, okay, if you go through the military contractors in this country, war is good for them. Absolutely. Hang tight, I want to pull this. American firms rule the 398 billion global arms industry. 398 billion, folks, the global arms industry. And the United States rules that. The money, okay? Now, I'm not going to get into the world, but let's look at this. We get down to the top 10, you start looking at the top 10, you have, you get down to, you start at number 6, General Dynamics. General Dynamics. $19.5 billion in arms sales. United States. The Northrop Group. Grumman. Sorry. All right. $22.4 billion. United States. BAE Systems, that's in the United Kingdom, 22.9. Raytheon, the one on the screen, Raytheon, 23.9 billion. They're United States. Okay? Boeing, 26.9 billion United States. Lockheed Martin, 44.9 billion United States. Those are out of the top 10. Okay? Those are out of the top 10 firms in the arms industry. $398 billion global arms industry. Now let me tell you one more thing before we go to break, because we need to go. You see all these, now when I say all, that's a big word, so not everyone, okay? But you see a lot of these retired colonels and retired lieutenant colonels, and you see generals, and you see all of these retired people, okay? I know, again, all is a big word, not everyone. Then quit saying all. But you see so many of these on all the networks. And the networks, if you go do the research, they should have to disclose when they bring in a general or they bring in a retired commander of a fleet, when they bring in somebody, they should have to expose that they are on the payroll of Raytheon. They are on the payroll of one of these major arms industry companies somewhere else, because it happens all the time. Happens all the time that the deep state media pulls somebody up to find out why they think, and they start bad-mouthing the President of the United States for not retaliating, and then if you look in the background, they may be on the payroll of Raytheon. Just saying. We're going to talk more about that when we get back. I'm your host, BKP. By the way, Al Sharpton, does he wear a sign in South Carolina? White people, apply your lips to my ass here. Sorry, I said that, but as you can tell, I'm back, baby. Take a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
It's always Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. And with our maximum discount guarantee, nobody else comes close. Now save up to $11,000 off Silverado crew cabs, or choose 0% financing for 72 months, or save up to $7,000 off Colorado crew cabs. The new truck selection is huge, and the discounts are unbeatable at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where it's always Truck Month.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ella, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
Welcome to Mountain Valley Motors. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Fiat vehicles available, plus a wide selection of quality used vehicles. Located at 7535 Appalachian Highway in Blue Ridge, we treat the needs of each individual customer with paramount concern. We know that you have high expectations, and as a car dealer, we enjoy the challenge of meeting and exceeding those standards each and every time. Allow us to demonstrate our commitment to excellence. Our experienced sales staff is eager to share its knowledge and enthusiasm with you. We encourage you to browse our online inventory, schedule a test drive, and investigate financing options. Visit us online or call us at 706-516-1053.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Josh, let's show everybody how they can get in touch with the show. I want to go through some picks this morning, and then we're going to get off Iran. Okay, give me, let me just say this really quick. Give me number 4. And the reason I'm bringing up Raytheon, maybe you do a Raytheon / MSNBC / military advisor search. These guys need those missiles to explode so they can build more. Let me get to see if I can find. Let me get all my Iranian. Okay, number 14. Iran set to breach Obama-era nuclear deal. It was a terrible deal, folks. We had to pay ransom for our people. This was a disaster of a deal. They never did comply with it. The IAE, no. Yeah, International Atomic Energy, whatever. Iran's never complied with this. And if they were serious and we pulled out, why don't they stay in it for their European partners? Because of the sanctions? Maybe. Okay. But Mike Pompeo, number 15, he is over in Saudi Arabia. He has been a little bit of everywhere. Hey, talking about don't take President Trump's, wouldn't call it patience. I forget the word he said, but don't take his rational look at this, and I just say that so I can move on, as a sign of weakness. Okay, and I wouldn't either. Number 16, Trump promises new sanctions on Iran. He said that on Meet the Press with Chuck Todd. He does promise new sanctions. Today they're going to ratchet it up. So it's really tough over there in Iran. They are working. This is why Iran they have put out another threat today. They are trying to do everything they can to pick a fight, provoke this president, so they can lie to their people and look as though we attack them unprovoked. They don't tell their people the truth. We always anticipate that they're telling their people the truth. Hell, our media doesn't tell us the truth. And then number 20, they don't know how to handle this because when they sit down with Trump, I want to talk with Iranian leadership with no preconditions. Will you talk to them? Yeah, I'll talk to them. Tell them to call me. I'll pick up the phone. That's what I do. I'll pick up the phone. Hey, set up a place. We'll meet. We'll talk. We'll work to see if we can. I mean, they're going to have to back off the whole wipe Israel off the face of the map. I mean, we got a list of things that they have to comply with. But, yeah, we'll talk. I don't need any conditions. Sure. That messes them up. Okay? Number 21, the New York Times and many reporting out there that we launched cyber attacks on Iran and messed up their military capability to launch the weapons. All right. Number 28, Trump warns Iran of obliteration like you've never seen before. All right. I do think Trump will do that. I am glad that he didn't start a war this past weekend. I'm okay with that. I'm a little nervous. We got to watch our people. We've got to be concerned. We're talking about people. What if all of a sudden somewhere in the world they take 50 hostages? Wonder if that would ever happen. Huh. Okay? But the deep state media, don't forget the deep state media, the deep state, the military warmongers of the world do not like his reaction. Okay? They don't like it. And they're trying to figure out how to put him in a box that'll turn the American people. I mean, every single day they try to do something. Supposedly this weekend, this was going to turn me, a supporter, a Trump supporter, you, against the president. and we didn't jump on board. I understand a lot of Republicans are calling for that immediate military reaction, but this president right now, he's saying, wait a minute, I put value of life first. So Trump warns, keep it up. You're going to force my hand. That. Number 30, there's the mustache. Okay, they're talking about the hawkish and the doves. They're talking about the people in the White House that are pulling Trump back on retaliation and the ones that want to go to war, and they claim Bolton is one that wants to go. He wants to fight everybody, but Trump willing to talk with Iran without preconditions. Bolton is over in Israel. Okay. Here is a shot, number 31, of supposedly some parts of our drone that's down, Iran, and let's go back to Trump's Iran strategy. Okay, folks, they're trying to pick a fight with the President of the United States. The President tweets out the value of life. Why does he tweet? Okay, because the underground world of the internet, and it's out there, the tweets are getting to the Iranian people. Now, their news is not reporting the truth about what happened with the President of the United States. But the people of Iran know that this president's behind them because under a layer of the government cutting off all social media, there's the underground tweets that do get through. And the Iranian people know that he did not, through the black market tweets, that he did not drop a bomb on them and kill their people, and made a decision not to. I'm telling you right now, they're trying to push him in a corner, all right, and give him no choice but to retaliate. And I will say this, I hope it does not come with loss of life. But when he does retaliate, all the American people will be behind him. You watch and see when he does. And the sanctions, he is going to cripple Iran. And he is. It's working. And they don't like it. The deep state media wants a war. They want to try to see if they can't separate the country even further from this guy. And hey, we've tried everything. Now, as sad as this is, you may think, really, do you think they would go that far? The deep state is saying, we've tried about everything with this guy. We got two things we need to do: collapse the economy, and every time we try something, everybody's behind this guy, okay? Consumer confidence. Or we start a war. That could bring this guy down. So we're going to get out of that. What is the strategy with Trump? Thank you, Mr. President, for not taking the bait. Thank you for not taking the 2 years of the individual that we just could not trust in the White House with the nuclear codes and to make a military decision. Looks like he was able to do that. Once again, the president has proved that his cognitive functions, and he's not in early stages of dementia. Now, on the other hand, Joe Biden, first of all, let's go to, I just sent you, and I need your help on this. And I say this jokingly, not jokingly, I need your help on this because obviously, if you look at Politico, okay, if you look at Politico, Real Clear Politics 4 days ago, Rush Limbaugh said, Joe Biden is finished. It's over. Okay? Now, he went for the throat. It's over. Now, I don't know. I don't want to be the one to say maybe Rush is wrong. But let's look at this report from ABC, that last one. Do you have that last video I just sent you? Because we're going to tie this into some other things. So let's look at this for just a minute. And this is why Rush Limbaugh is yelling. A headline say, it is over. Go with that right now.
Our ABC News investigation this morning into Joe Biden's son Hunter and questions about money he made from foreign business dealings while his father was vice president. Our chief national affairs correspondent Tom Yamas traveled to Ukraine to try to get some answers. And Tom, what did you find?
Dave, good morning to you. This is actually an issue Joe Biden has been dealing with since 2014, but it's come up again because he's now running for president. Republicans, including President Trump, are trying to hammer Biden over this. At issue, was Hunter Biden profiting off his dad's work as vice president, and did Joe Biden allow it? We're talking about millions of dollars in at least 2 countries. Mr. Vice President, Tom Yamas with ABC News. How you doing? Got a quick question for you. It's a question we tried to ask repeatedly. Can we ask you about Ukraine and China? But kept getting blocked. Questions about foreign deals his son Hunter Biden pursued.
My father, Joe Biden.
In countries where Joe Biden was working as America's top diplomat. In 2014, Ukrainians, sick of corruption, revolted. Vice President Joe Biden went to Kiev to help the new government.
You have to fight the cancer of corruption.
But then, something strange happened. Just 3 weeks later, a Ukrainian natural gas company, Burisma, accused of corruption, appoints Hunter Biden, seen here in their promotional videos, to their board of directors, paying his firm more than $1 million a year. Hunter, a lawyer who had just been discharged from the Navy Reserves for testing positive for cocaine.
Mr. Hunter Biden.
He had served on other boards, but had no known experience in Ukraine or natural gas. We went to Kiev and found even among Joe Biden's supporters in Ukraine, Hunter's hiring was troubling. How do you judge what Hunter Biden was doing?
I think that Hunter Biden did a very bad thing, and he was very wrong. He allowed his name to be abused.
And Ukraine wasn't the only country where Hunter Biden's business and his father's diplomacy as vice president intersected. It also happened in China. This video shows Chinese diplomats greeting Vice President Biden as he arrived in Beijing in December of 2013. Right by his side, his son Hunter. Less than 2 weeks later, Hunter's firm had new business, creating an investment fund in China involving the government-controlled Bank of China. With reports, they hope to raise $1.5 billion. Hunter still plays a role in the fund. His lawyer says his stake is worth about $500,000. Both Hunter and his lawyers say he never discussed any of his overseas work with his father. But even a critic of the current president and his children's business dealings says this.
He should have encouraged his son to not take these positions.
Biden's campaign team told us that the vice president acted at all times in a manner consistent with well-established executive branch ethics standards. One person who did not want to talk about it, Joe Biden. Mr. Vice President, what's your take on that? Was there a conflict of interest there? Was there a clear conflict of interest? Now, in response to our questions, the Biden campaign, for the first time, is announcing if he's elected, he will invoke a new ethics policy on his first day in office that would empower White House lawyers to monitor for any types of conflicts of interest. Now, Hunter Biden did not want to comment on camera. He says he was brought into Burisma, that Ukrainian company that was facing the corruption charges, to help with its transparency and corporate responsibility. So far, no charges have been brought against Burisma so far.
But these questions aren't going to go away, so in the meantime,
All right, these questions are not going to go away. Now, that's what David Murr said. I cut back really too quick, but the last words he said are these questions are not going to go away. Now, let me just say, okay, is he wrong? Is he wrong? Because let me say this. I just had it here. Rush Limbaugh says he's done. I mean, he said he's finished. It was Friday. I think it was Friday. He said he's finished, or maybe Thursday. Because when the mainstream or the deep state media, my words, come out and run a report like they did on ABC, like ABC did, going after him. Now, the thing is, maybe ABC drew the short straw. Who was going to do this? Who's going to nosedive Biden? But then why? Okay, first of all, at the fish fry, and all jokes aside, it's South Carolina, all right? MSNBC got the exclusive. They didn't let ABC, CNN, the convention, they had to use their footage. They didn't let CNN, Fox News, all right, ABC, CBS, all of them, nobody, MSNBC, NBC got the exclusive on the Jim Clyburn fish fry. Now, you and I know, and this encompasses, or this unpacks a lot of stuff. We just watched that. Now, I know that story, okay? But the rest of the media is stuck on the word boy and son. And sadly, that's a gender thing. And it's so weird that, oh my God, could they actually be coming up with their reason? I know it sounds crazy, but follow what Democrats do. Are they coming up with their reason of getting rid of boy? It's offensive. You know how we feel when we hear that. And son, the difference. Now it's very racist. If you have a little boy, son, boy, come here a minute. Son, I need to talk. I'm not joking. You may think I've lost my mind, but that's what it was. Now we know, you and I know, blacks in America are running off the plantation. Okay? The DNC slavery plantation. I know you don't like that word. I don't care. The Democrat National Committee, the Democrats, the deep state, they put blacks on a plantation and they're leaving. And they got to figure out what the hell to do to keep them on the plantation. Now, Biden must be, and I'm serious as can be, he must be, to the Democrats, the best option they have of keeping blacks on the plantation. Because look here, let's go to the Al Sharpton, Rev. Doesn't it disgust you? Let's go to the Biden Al Sharpton for a minute, okay? Let's go to Biden's response with Al Sharpton down there in South Carolina at the fish fry. Yeah, Biden, and that it's the one where we're going to go to 550 when I'm ready.
His first cable news sit-down interview since announcing his White House bid is former Vice President Joe Biden. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Good to see you, Rev.
Good to see you. Let me ask you before we get into some of what you said in the speech. President announced today that he's going to have a 2-week delay on his announcement that he was sending ICE in after hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants. Nancy Pelosi called him last night and asked him not to do it. He's going to do a 2-week delay. What's your reaction?
He shouldn't do it at all. And you see they're in the Ninth Circuit right now arguing that kids who are being detained by ICE should not even have blankets, toothbrushes, and the rest. They can sleep on floors. They're actually making that argument today. And not only is that cruel, but imagine what it says to the rest of the world about who we are. Look, we should immediately let the Dreamers in, period. We should be moving in the direction of making sure there's a path to citizenship for the 11 million people who are here, overstay, and most overstay their visas, not come across the border. We should be moving in the direction of making sure that we change fundamentally the access to, in terms of asylum, by putting more judges on the border, not on the border, not.
All right, now I want to stay there just for a minute. First of all, Rev, and I am not joking at all. This is very serious to me. Is there a sign? I mean, can white people, and I want to talk directly to the white people. Now, Kamala Harris, okay, she is not a sister babe, okay? She went down. Did you watch any of the South Carolina? I want to get into that in a minute, but first of all, okay, Rev, they run Al Sharpton down there in South Carolina. They give the exclusive to MSNBC. And Al Sharpton walks around with a white people kiss my ass here. I'm serious. You may get upset. Why do white people continue? I know the reasons, but why do they continue to run around and kiss this man's ass? Okay? I mean, I'm serious as could be. Now, let's go to the 550 point on this, and we're going to listen to this just a minute, and we're going to take a break and come back and talk about why I think if Rush is right, good for Rush. And I agree with the ABC story. I watched that story last week. And he's saying since ABC opened that up and David Murr said there's a lot more questions here, Biden is done. His prediction, Biden is done. I don't think he's done yet. Let's wait for debates. Go ahead. 550.
And I've been calling for a long time. There should be job training in prisons, not training people how to be criminals. There's so much we can do, and it's within our capacity to do it. That's the interesting thing. And I think what's happening now is I think that Donald Trump may have reawakened sensibilities in this country to say, whoa, maybe we can do this now. Just like our generation was awakened when Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy were assassinated. Whole generation said, I'm back in, man. These millennials, they get it, Rev.
Yeah.
And now they want to get engaged.
You started the campaign with a video talking about Charlottesville and the division in the country. And I watched you close up during the Obama years fight, even sometimes internal fights in the staff for same-sex marriage and a lot of tough stuff. And you and I disagreed in the 90s, and I said, wow, this Biden is a real go-to-the-mat kind of fighter. And this week you got into it about a statement you made about racists and segregationists. And don't you understand some of the hurt feelings there? You called Cory Booker.
Sure I do.
And you have Mayor de Blasio and others calling you to apologize. Many things I've said that I didn't intend, Mrs. King said to me, you can't say things that hurt people. It hurts when you talk about boy. It means something different to us. It hurts when you call a racist like you normalize. That's not the Biden I got to know. Don't you understand that?
No, I do fully understand. That's not what I said, though. They didn't print the whole deal. You know what I mean? The context of this was totally different. And by the way, the fact of the matter is, I ran against all those folks. I got on the Judiciary Committee to defeat the man who headed the committee. I'm the guy that extended the Voting Rights Act 25 years, not 5. We finally got to the point when I was a senior member of the Democratic on the Judiciary Committee to get 98 votes to extend the Voting Rights Act. Let me tell you something. You got to deal with what's in front of you. And what was in front of you was a bunch of racists, and we had to defeat them. And as I said in that statement, that the fact of the matter is the meanest man in the world I've ever dealt with in the United States Senate was a guy from Georgia named Herman Talmadge. And I included Jim Eastland. And Jim Eastland, and so, but this is, I do understand the consequence of the word boy, but it wasn't said in any of that context at all.
But you understand, they would call you son. They would never call me son. They would only call me boy.
No, but they called Teddy Kennedy boy. That was the distinction. The reason he called me senator was to demean me more because son, because he said, I'm not even qualified to be in the Senate. I'm not old enough. I'm a kid. Mm-hmm. I'm a kid.
To those that are listening, and those that have respected you, but that were hurt by that, what do you say to them? I've heard your justification and you're explaining it, but you're saying to them you understand the feeling.
I do understand the feeling. Look, as you know, Rev, you know about me in Delaware. I came up in that community. I came up in the black church. I came up because that's where we sit down to organize, to go out and march. I was the only white employee in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware, in terms of being a lifeguard and then a park director, because I chose to be there, and I learned more there than anywhere. All the folks who got those jobs, or good jobs, were athletes, and I was not a bad athlete, but I was the only white employee. And the fact of the matter is, I remember one time sitting in there, and a guy named Jamie Rolls, a great athlete, and he turned to me and he said, "You have a jerry can, Joe?" And I said, "A jerry can? You mean a big 5-gallon?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "No, I don't have one. What do you need a jerry can for? I'm going to see my grandmother." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You don't understand. I can't stop at any gas station." He lives in North Carolina. I got an education up close and personal in a way that I didn't have anything remotely as tough as any black man or woman I've ever served with. But I did get here I was in the middle of a city that was, all these folks I knew, that I think there was a total of 14 African Americans and me. They're in the middle of a city. It took me time to realize as a young man, they're in the middle of a city and didn't know anybody white. They'd ask me questions like, what's it like for the A, B, C, or D? And so, you know, I am fully aware of that. And to the extent that anybody thought that I meant something different, that is not what I intended. And it'd be wrong for anybody to intend that.
Iran, I have to ask you about that before we let you go.
All right, we won't go into his answer for Iran, but Al Sharpton obviously got paid off very well. Folks, Biden has handlers. His campaign handlers will not let him speak to anybody. In fact, they're upset that going from events to the car, he gets, goaded into turning and making a statement. So they're trying to stop that. But his handlers, so that was well managed, well written, and Al Sharpton was set up, a black guy, to let you know they called him son, not boy. You know Rev. You know me, Rev. Rev, you know me for years. Okay? So why are they running cover for Biden this weekend in South Carolina? Why are they trying to get the black community stirred up, the inner black community with this? Now, let's go to James Clyburn. One more video I have there. I think I have James Clyburn. Okay? And I don't know if any others, we'll look at them in a minute, but I think this is Al Sharpton, and this is James Clyburn, who the fish fry is named after in South Carolina. Okay? Go, let's play that video just for a minute and we'll come back.
Joining me now, House Majority Whip and Democratic Congressman from South Carolina, Jim Clyburn. Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you so much, Reverend, for having me.
Now, you know, I know that nobody can run for president without coming through you. And one of the big things of the calendar every presidential election year and year leading in is your fish fry. And they all were there last night.
They were all there last night, save one who had to go back, but he came back this morning. And one, of course, called in. So 22 of the 23 announced candidates were there. It was a great event, and as you know, we started doing this, as we do every year, to say thank you to these people here who are on the floor.
Right.
They're delegates. They work hard to help us get elected. They can't afford to pay $150 to go to the fundraiser that's always held. So we started doing this fish fry to give them an opportunity to have something to do, get to know each other, waiting on the convention to start as it started today. But about 10 years ago, a lady said something to me that changed my attitude about the fish fry. She told me she would never miss another one. And I asked her why. She said, because it gave me, this ordinary young lady from this rural county, an opportunity to dance the electric slide with the next president of the United States.
That's right.
And you know what she was talking about. That happened back in 2007, I believe. And then I talked to people today. And there, one lady told me, I just cannot get over being in the same setting with over 20 people running for president of the United States, and I could reach out and touch them as any ordinary person would. And thank you so much for that opportunity.
And you know, a lot of people do not know with your exalted position in Congress, but you started as a civil rights activist here in South Carolina.
Absolutely.
And went through all...
All right, can you stay right there? We might get back to that. Can you remember where I just said I didn't tell you to stop? All right, because they're going to talk about he started as a civil rights activist. So Clyburn, Al Sharpton is sent down there on a mission, okay? So number one, okay, Biden and Al Sharpton, okay? They use Cory Booker, to set it all up. Number 6. Corey is the one all bent out of shape. They had to find a black guy, right? So get me a black guy in here. We got to coordinate this whole thing. We got to put this whole charade together. Who we have? We've got Corey. Is that the only one? We got 23 candidates. We got one black guy that's going to be offended? The white guys don't matter. I'm tired of hearing about them. All right? Kamala Harris. Oh, if they would have had their way, these segregationists, I would have never been able to be on the Senate floor. All right, we don't want to hear that. Get me a black guy in here. So Corey, he's picked to play the role that's all upset. I mean, he went through, living in Newark, New Jersey, which I know a little bit about, he went through racial hatred that he read about in the South. Why, he knows of the hurt when someone says boy and son, and he knows what the difference is. And Al Sharpton said, I was called boy, not son. So Cory Booker is all they have. All they have. Now pay attention to this. To spin this thing, okay? To spin this thing out of control with hate and hurt for the black community, right? Pay attention. Cory Booker, he is hurt. And we know how he feels. And Biden gets a chance to apologize. One more thing, and maybe you guys could text Rush, call Rush, or maybe call in today and say some crazy guy in North Georgia said this. Now, one more. Number 7, we got Jim Clyburn over at the Fish Fry. We got John Lewis here in Georgia, okay? Jesse Jackson, whether it's irrelevant. All right, the Shrink-a-Dink. Oh, Shrink-a-Dink. Al Sharpton down there. They called me son. I can think of a lot of things to call you, sir. A lot. You are a criminal. You are a domestic terrorist. We have seen you jump on the hood of the car with your bullhorn. Fat Al. Moving along. I'm going to go to break, and I want you to think about this. ABC ran that story I played for you, correct? Played that story. Wonder who got a heads up that that story was going to be played. Because if you go to the internet and you look at David Murr and ABC and that special report on Biden that played on Good Morning America, well, they put that out for Good Morning America while you were getting dressed for work. Think about it. So who had a heads up in that Biden campaign? Because remember, the same time that ABC News clip came out, so did Joe Biden's, okay, his nice comments about the two segregationists from the South with boy and son, but they knew how to work together and get things done. And that spun all out of control. And they are this morning. Now, I don't expect MSNBC, but look at here. Let me show you this, okay? Let's go here, okay? Number 5, they're talking about it. Biden claims boy comment taken out of context. That's even here on Monday morning, okay? Number 6, Cory Booker. They had that on MSNBC. He's still hurt. He's the hurt brother. Let's stay with this, okay? John Lewis, number 7. John Lewis is okay. I know Joe Biden, he didn't mean nothing by it. He's a good man. Well, he will keep my pockets lined. I didn't mean that. He will keep Al Sharpton paid off. I didn't mean that. Jim Clyburn. Jim Clyburn, come up in South Carolina. Do you realize what all these white people have done for me? Okay. Let me see if I have anything else on that. Hang tight, hang tight. I want to get through this just a second. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do, I might do some more on that, okay? I just want to see, I think I have something from CNN. All right, I didn't have anything else. But let's stay with this. Remember, Rush said Biden's over, okay? But in South Carolina, he got to speak last. Front runner, he got to speak last. He got that clear the air with Al Sharpton interview, okay? And Cory Booker is playing the role of the hurt black guy that was called boy instead of son. And remember, those two stories came out at the same time. I want to ask you, since the ABC story came out last week on Good Morning America, I think Thursday morning, how much was it talked about throughout the morning shows on Sunday? How much of it is on the internet? No. Type in boy, son, John Lewis, segregationist. They're nonstop with that. So Joe got that out of the way, and that story became the big story, not the truth about Hunter Biden and the $1.5 billion or the multi-billion-dollar deal with the Bank of China. Now remember, you think sometimes when we say Bank of China is like Bank of America. No, Bank of America is not America's bank. Bank of China is the government's bank. This guy got direct funds through his investment group from the Chinese, something Donald Trump couldn't even do. That's why they attacked Donald Trump, to keep you away from Hunter Biden and John Kerry's stepson, Teresa Heinz' sons. You can read it all in Peter Schweizer's book, which I've read. So keep in mind, is Rush wrong? Let's get back with the debate. When we come back to debate, and the damn kids again, they went back. Kids in cages didn't sell, so they're going to ratchet up. They're sleeping on a concrete floor. You just wait to hear what I got to say about that. Take us to break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
It's always Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. And with our maximum discount guarantee, nobody else comes close. Now save up to $11,000 off Silverado crew cabs, or choose 0% financing for 72 months, or save up to $7,000 off Colorado crew cabs. The new truck selection is huge, and the discounts are unbeatable at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where it's always Truck Month.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ella, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
Welcome to Mountain Valley Motors. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Fiat vehicles available, plus a wide selection of quality used vehicles. Located at 7535 Appalachian Highway in Blue Ridge, we treat the needs of each individual customer with paramount concern. We know that you have high expectations, and as a car dealer, we enjoy the challenge of meeting and exceeding those standards each and every time. Allow us to demonstrate our commitment to excellence. Our experienced sales staff is eager to share its knowledge and enthusiasm with you. We encourage you to browse our online inventory, schedule a test drive, and investigate financing options. Visit us online or call us at 706-516-1053.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
So everybody wants reparations, okay? And Elizabeth Warren has now decided that she is including gay and lesbian couples that are going to go on the list of reparations, that deserve reparations. What about sports fans that bought season tickets for years, Josh, and they never watched their team get a championship? Shouldn't they? Maybe they should be reimbursed. I mean, they bought all the gear, they wear the uniforms, they wear the hats, right? I mean, I don't know, where does this end? So All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, let's go quickly through some things because we're almost done for the day. So, and this is just as important. I don't have 3 hours. Rush Limbaugh said Thursday, after the ABC clip, that Joe Biden's done. Plugs, as he calls him, is over. Creepy Uncle Joe, 76 years old. Now, there's two things I want you to pay attention to. I don't know if he's done because of that story. I don't think Joe can handle a campaign. If you take the time and bore you, I did. I took the time. And I watched most of the 20 speeches, because they were like 6-7 minutes apiece, from the candidates at the DNC convention, okay? South Carolina convention. And there's two takeaways. Number one, it was embarrassing to watch that many white people get up on stage and try the black accent. I told you that, okay? They tried the black accent. South Carolina. No, it doesn't work. They were so white this past weekend. I'm wondering what black South Carolina Democrats thought. And let me tell you what I really thought. Tell me what you really think. Here you go. I'm wondering, like, the 70-year-old white, 70-year-old white Democrats from South Carolina, the ones that voted for the Democrats Joe Biden speaks of in South Carolina, okay? The ones that showed up and voted for those Democrats, the ones that voted for John Kennedy, John Fitzgerald Kennedy for president. I'm wondering what those Democrats, the ones that voted for Jimmy Carter, I'm wondering what those Democrats in the room in South Carolina are thinking. Do you realize, let me say this, correct me where I'm wrong, which may be tough on this one. 23 Democrat candidates. Do you realize the South has none of those? Why, Castro's from Texas. No. Well, Francis O'Rourke, Beto, he's from Texas. No. We will get into where they're from, okay? Let's look at 34. Let's see. Buttigieg, Buttigieg, Indiana, Biden, Delaware, Bernie Sanders wants to give. I think Bernie should retire and be a conductor. Next up, the Bernie Sanders Orchestra. Margaret, I tell you, if I'm elected, Wall Street will pay. They will pay. I'm telling you, they will pay. Wall Street will pay the $1.6 trillion to take away all the debt. I mean all the debt of student loans. Wall Street. Yeah, that's Bernie Sanders should be a conductor. Anyhow, so there's Kamala Harris, California, Kirsten Gillibrand, New York, Michael Bennett, Eric Swalwell, California. Not seeing any true blue Southern boys. I don't see anybody there with a four-wheel drive, a gun rack, and a little mud on the tires from Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama. No. They have no candidates. Maybe not even Florida? Okay, let's go to the next one. Night one. Let's go to one. Go there. 35. Well, there's de Blasio. De Blasio was friggin' hilarious. I mean, he went, my brother, he went to the mic. You know, I married a black woman. I swear to God, don't get mad at me. Why does everybody, it was hilarious. I watched it. If you didn't watch it, why are you mad at me? So Tim Ryan, Ohio. Julio Castro, he is from Texas. Cory Booker, token brother, that he had to take that all on his own. I mean, he's from Newark, New Jersey. Yeah, I saw this guy. He was in Sopranos. He said, "Boy, come over here. Come here, boy." That was so hurtful. Sorry. Elizabeth Warren, Massachusetts. Francis Tekes, he's from Texas. Amy, Minnesota. Gabbert, Hawaii. Inslee, Washington State. John Delaney. I'm not finding anybody from South Carolina. Do you realize 23, they paraded 23, and out of 23, let's just call 20 of them as white as they can get, some white-ass people come across that state, New Yorkers, everybody. Hillary Clinton did a better job pretending she was from Arkansas. I swear to God, she did a better job in South Carolina with her southern accent. I was First Lady of Arkansas. I was like, what do these people think? 23 went through. And yes, they care about South Carolina. Now, they know they're not going to turn it. Where's the Georgia? Where is the Mississippi? Let's just go with Arkansas. Florida. Let's see. There's got to be somebody in that 23 from Florida. There you go. Just think it out as you look at it. Now, Joe Biden has so much to do on day one. He really does. Okay? Here he is, Joe. So Joe's there, and let me say this real quick. Joe's talking. If you go back and you listen to the Al Sharpton interview with Joe, Joe's explaining how we need, on day one, he's going to fix it to where we get black men and women out of jail. Joe, your people put them in there. Yeah. Clinton, Al Gore, you, Democrats, you guys rounded them brothers up. Now you want to talk, this is hilarious. This cracks my ass up. You want to talk about rounding up a couple thousand people that did not return for their asylum hearings in this country with ICE, and everybody's freaking out. We're not going to get into that right now. How about how many brothers you went through inner cities and rounded up, Joe? You're the one rounding them up. Al Sharpton sitting there listening. Look, you put that chair down. Al got glasses on now. I'm an educated black man. Now, I used to be a radical black man, but now they taught me how to sit and look at the camera to where I look like an educated black man. What the hell is wrong with this damn country? So, Joe, you were part of the roundup. Oh, you just crack. Tell me it doesn't crack your ass up. When they're talking about a couple thousand people that were going to round up with ICE over the weekend, start a raid for people that did not return for their asylum hearings. Oh, hell. They went through and rounded up every brother that didn't return for their bond hearing. It's hilarious as can be. They slammed them in jails all across the United States. Then the Democrats went, they all worked together. Democrats and Republicans, they worked hand in hand. So Bill Clinton, he made your streets safer. He put cops on the streets, rounded the brothers up. Where did they put them? They put them in the privately owned prisons for profit that they built for their friends to put the black people in. Holy mackerel. Do you not catch on? It's hilarious. It's like watching, like, you people are not in check with reality. So now Joe Biden, on day one, he's got a list a mile long. On day one, he's going to roll back Trump's taxes. Or they're all gone. All your the Trump tax breaks are over day one. Now, on day one, he's going to let the brothers out. He's just going to open it up. He's bringing the black men and women out of prison that have been, judged wrongly. Oh my God, it's unreal to hear what they're saying. And then he's going to, where is it at? I wrote it down there. A new ethics rule. After the ABC, when I'm elected, the ABC story with his son, Hunter Biden, when I'm elected, there'll be a new ethics rule. What will be the ethics rule? Will foreign governments not be able to set up, bank accounts in the Cayman Islands, and you have your kids set up a bank account and put money in them? Huh. We'll go into that later. So Joe is going to be busy. Now, the debate. So Trump is going to manipulate this debate like you have never seen. Iran, they're all going to be asked. Flip to the other one. That's night one. So let's go to night one. You see who's on there, okay? That's night one. You see Warren, okay, O'Rourke, Corey, the one black candidate. That's night one. Go to night two. Night two, okay, in this sequel, Buttigieg, which he's got a problem back home. There was black people screaming at him back home. And you got Bernie and Joe side by side, and you got Carmel Apple and Kristen, I'll do anything for a campaign donation, Gillibrand. So anyhow, Trump is going to manipulate this whole entire debate. The media is trying to stop that. They catch on. So Iran, that is going to be a big question. Everybody should get asked. You're going to see what's happening here. The biggest deep state exposure will be this debate. The second, okay, if you cannot convince your friends and neighbors that the deep state is in the pocket of the Democrats, all right, and they're working together with the media, the deep state media, there's no chance for your friends. You got to get away from these people, because these 2 nights right here will be the final exposure that you should need to convince your friends there's something bad wrong, okay? Cheesecake or apple pie? I tell you, Wall Street will buy cheesecake for everybody. What the hell? Hey, I shouldn't have done that. I know, that was bad. But anyhow, this is what will happen. Now, the second thing, you're going to find out if Joe's going to survive. Now, Rush, you know I love you, man. I'm not 100% that he's done. You'll find out if Joe's going to survive. And I'll tell you another thing. I told you earlier, and I didn't stay with it. I should have. Go watch the 12 minutes of Joe Biden in South Carolina. Now, you want to talk about bumbling, can't pronounce things? Me? You know, the king of double negatives, don't know where the verb's supposed to go. Me? Bada bing, bada boom. Man, you got to watch Joe Biden. He stumbles so much. There'll be no way that this guy could go a 90-minute debate with Donald Trump. As soon, if he becomes the nominee and he has to go out on the campaign trail and he has to spend 25, 30 minutes, he can't do it. He is bumbling so bad. Pronunciations, words, he's bumbling so bad he can't even do 12 minutes. Go watch it, okay? Slurring his speech. I'm not trying to make fun of him. He's 76 years old. Check him out. That's number one. Number two, we're going to find out if he's going to survive after this. If the deep state media circle around him, okay? If they circle around him and support him, and I mean all those candidates, if nobody leverages the attack, remember Bernie Sanders, okay? I don't want to hear another damn thing about Hillary's emails. Well, Bernie, you just gave away that you're totally in the tank just selling books, manipulating kids' heads. Hey, man, I'm going to give you a free ice cream cone. I'm a drug dealer. Kid, come here. You buy my book. You buy my book, I will make all your financial issues with your school loans go away. You got it? That's all he's doing. Bernie Sanders is doing nothing more but creating another, this is a book tour. There'll be another book. He'll get another couple $1 million. He's done, all right? And then he will be able to say, the poor Jew from Brooklyn. Do you not know this guy? I understand. If you don't know very much about Brooklyn, New York, you have your rich Jews and you have your poor Jews. If you go to Brooklyn, New York, you will see very poor Jews. You might think, well, I don't like the way you're putting that. It's bottom line, okay? Bernie Sanders was a very poor Jew. He grew up a very poor Jew in Brooklyn. It's a fact. It happens. If he gets in one more book deal, he can go around and say, I'm not the poor little Jew in Brooklyn anymore. That's done. So, here's what we have. This is what they're going for. Now, I want to set this up for a reason, okay? Now, here are the two that slip sliding into hell. And I'm going to tell this. Let's change the subject, but this is what they're doing. They're setting this up for Wednesday night or whatever. Number 8. Lawyers mitigate children held in dirty conditions. Okay? Number 10. Lawyers mitigate children being held in without soap, toothbrushes, at overcrowded detention centers. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Lawyers, migrant children on a roll. Josh, thanks for pulling me back from the edge. Okay. Lawyers, migrant children are being held without soap, toothbrushes, at overcrowded detention centers. Thank you, because I'm on a roll here. So, wonder if the black people that Biden and his friends rounded up, if they got soap, toothbrushes in overcrowded prisons. Huh. Wonder if there's as much concern about the black men and women in this country that have been in overcrowded prisons, state, county, federal prisons. If they didn't have enough soap, or if they didn't get their toothbrush when they checked in, or they had a little lice problem. Wonder. Now, let me tell you this, okay? This is funny. Not ha-ha funny. Not ha-ha. This is funny. So, at FetcherNews.com, we had a reporter, let me tell you this is a true story. We had a reporter write a story about a county in North Georgia, we'll leave it at that. And the reporter wrote about the opiate crisis in the area, okay, in that particular area. And how many emergency room visits and the crisis in the area with opiate addiction, okay? Overdoses, everything. So I pick up the phone, and I will for anybody. 706, let's throw the number up. I want to stay with the two there. You can come back to that picture, but let's throw the number up. There you go. You can pick up. So I pick up the phone. Somebody calls that number. Go back to them. And I pick up the phone, and there's a business owner. Now listen to this, okay? I want you to listen to this, okay? So there's a business owner in that area that says, hey, I need to talk to you about a story your reporter wrote in our area. Okay, I'm listening. It made us look very bad. Okay, I'm listening. Yes, as a business owner, and this individual said, as a business owner, it makes our area look very bad. I'm concerned about visitors wanting to come here. I'm concerned about people wanting to move here. I really think your reporting is a black eye on our community. So I said, okay, so I listen. Now, will you believe it or not, people call me up and they got something, have something to say. I listen. So I listen. Then I say, okay, can I ask you a question? Did you find the article concerning opiate addiction and overdoses in your area true or false? Oh, no. It's true. I mean, I feel pretty well. So the reporter that wrote the article in the area where you have a business wrote an accurate article. Yes, I would bet it's true, and I think it's right, and I think we have a serious problem. Okay. But your concern is how it made you look as a business owner in that area. How it made you concerned you may lose business in that area. That's what your concern was. Not how to eradicate the problem, what to do about the problem, and whether we have a problem, a crisis in this country. Are you getting what I'm saying? The phone call was about the truth of a crisis. Now, they're talking. Now, I watched. Let me go through this. I watched this morning, okay? That's number 10. Let's go to number 11, I'll get this right, Josh, I'm on a roll, but lawyers, migrant children are being held without soap, toothbrush. I mean, they're having a major discussion. Now, why don't these rich people bring them in their homes? Then we have, let me see if I can get another one here. Number 22. Now, I'm not going to play the video, but here's the lawyer. Migrant children are being held without soap, toothbrushes at overcrowded detention centers. Okay. Number 23, Jake Tapper, looking at Mike Pence. Justice Department. Lawyers suggest toothbrush, soap, and blanket not needed for safe and sanitary migrant facilities. Number 24, it's all over. They're trying to set the narrative for Wednesday night. None of them want asked about Iran. None of them want asked about the crisis on the border. None of them want asked, was the crisis real in 2018? Was Trump correct? No one wants to answer any of those questions. No one wants to answer, was Trump correct when he said he was going to put tariffs on Mexico? All right? Not a one of those questions do they want to ask. Answer. They don't want to answer any of this. So they're trying to switch the narrative. Detained migrant children got no toothbrush, no soap, no sleep. No sleep. It's no problem, government argues. Number 24. Number 25 from the New Yorker. Inside Texas building where government is holding immigrant children. The conditions the lawyer found were shocking. Flu and lice outbreaks were going untreated, and children were filthy, sleeping on cold floors and taking care of each other because of lack of attention from guards. Some of them had been in the facility for weeks. Lack of attention is due to the fact that we are taking them away from the people that are fraudulently saying hey, those are my kids. No, they're not. Those aren't your kids. We're having to take, they never talk in this right here about the percentage of kids that they're bringing across that don't belong to these men or women. They're just trying to get in. And now we have to take care of them. See if I have something else here. Okay, let me tell you this. Let me say what I want to say on this. We have a crisis across this country in every center city. In every center city in the United States of America, you have pockets of people that have lice. You have pockets of people that have no soap, no running water. You have pockets of people where there's little children walking, and I listen to these people. Why, there's children walking and their diaper hasn't been changed and it's sagging. Okay? Well, I'll tell you what. You've never seen a saggy diaper in America? I tell you how to fix it. Let's go down there and fill their bottles with Mountain Dew, damn it. Yeah, that's what we'll do. You never see a child running around with a bottle of Mountain Dew? You know, I think it's sad that these kids are coming into this country. And I think it's sad that Mexico lets them travel all the way across there. All the way across. Doesn't provide them a shower. Doesn't delouse them. Is that what you say? Is it, getting rid of the lice? Soap them down. I think it's sad. I think it's sad that they get no medical attention whatsoever in Mexico. I think it's sad that they have the flu, lice, no medical attention, saggy diapers, not clean, no soap, no toothbrush. I think it's sad the minute they come across the Guatemalan border, damn it, into Mexico, that the Mexicans aren't standing there with a bar of soap, a toothbrush, and soaping them down to kill the lice. I think it's sad as hell. I think it's sad that they can't get a damn shower. I do. Now they come to this country, and we got to fight over it in Washington, D.C. We got some plastic-faced 80-some-year-old woman, all right, Nancy Pelosi, with guards and gates all around her house that want to come out and tell me, you damn white people, elites, all of you, from the media. This woman says this morning, I have a 2.5-year-old, and I just think about it. What the hell? Boom! You and your 2.5-year-old, and you think about it. Really nice. 2.5-year-old probably has a nanny, right? Wonder if nanny is legal, or whoever is washing the diapers that your 2.5-year-old is. Boom! In. Holy mackerel, you damn people. Kids sleeping on the floor. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something right now. Do you realize how many of these extended stays in America, the conditions, have you realized how many of these hotels in America? I ain't talking about Marriott. I ain't talking about Courtyard by Marriott. I'm not talking about the one that has the business section where you can, hold your meetings. I'm talking go up and down the interstate of the United States of America and look at these, these weekly payday hotels. And you go look in these hotels and see how many kids and families are shoved in them. That's exactly right. That's living in these. Why, no, I came to North Georgia. I brought my money and my Mercedes and I went back in the woods and I built my home and I'm isolated from it. So, hey, sorry. Hey, I get it. It's okay. I'm glad I'm with you. But don't bury your head in the sand of the real problem out here in this country and let the deep state media try to convince you that kids, we can't give kids a toothbrush. Let me tell you something. Maybe we should put them in prison where they can get a shower. Put them in the cages. Put them in prison. They will get checked in. They'll get little yellow orange jumpsuits. They will get showers. They will get flip-flops. They get flip-flops too. And then they'll get soap. And then they all de-lice, right? Whatever it is. De-louse or whatever it is. The prisoners, there you go. It's disgusting what they're doing. It's disgusting what they're doing. They are pieces of garbage, these people. All right. So, reparations for the gays. Just saying. Okay. Here is, I don't have time to go back to any video. Roy Moore is going to run in Alabama. Roy Moore, the controversial judge, former judge, who lost the Senate seat in Ruby Red, Alabama after 3 women alleged he sexually abused them when they were teenagers decades ago, says he's going to give politics one more chance. Roy, you and the damn horse you rode in on. All right, so, and supposedly Beauregard might run again. Let me go. I got some quick pictures I want to go to. I got to get out of here because it's time for Instant Replay with Lauren Hunter, which can't say enough about her stepping in and the way her and Josh handled and all of our guests Friday. But let me go through this because I don't want to forget. I got all worked up over that last one. I probably shouldn't have. Wait till this week. You'll see what happens. There it is. Let's go to number 2. And you wonder why Pete Buttigieg is not doing well with the black community? Is that a phony look of get me the hell out of here away from this black guy? Here's number 3. Here's Al Sharpton telling Bernie, I just met with that kid Buttigieg. What's wrong with him, Bernie, man? He doesn't get it. You pay me the right money, I will be fine. Let me make sure I haven't forgotten anything. There is something I wanted to... Yeah, number 12. Concentration camp controversy. I mean, I know everybody loves to follow this girl around and hear the dumb crap she says. Number 13, EPA rolls back Obama-era restrictions on coal plants. All right. States, they're going nuts over that. Here's one. Number 17. If your publisher wants to sell books and you live in New York City, you tell people that Trump raped you in a friggin' Trump raped you in a dressing room in a department store. Woman alleged Trump sexually assaulted her in the 90s. Number 18. Trump says, number 19, hell no, it didn't happen. And hold on. So MSNBC thinks it's time to do a story. And then you've got, where's the money coming from? 29. I want to talk about this tomorrow because I said this, I made comments on this yesterday driving back. Sanders to announce plan to cancel $1.6 trillion of student debt. Plans go further than proposed from Elizabeth Warren. He is going to put a per trade tax on Wall Street. You see his hands there? I tell you, Margaret, I'm going to get rid of all of the debt to the kids in America. I'm your host, BKP. Do not go away. It is time for Instant Replay with Lauren Hunter. I am so glad to be back. It's all a setup, folks. Every bit of it's a setup for the debate this week. The deep state media has set up everything for the debate. The ABC story and the Joe Biden working with segregationists at the same time. For some reason, one's trying to cover the other one up, but we won't let it cover up. And David Murphy for ABC says there's a lot more questions. I'm your host. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Go to Facebook, Team FYN Sports. Facebook page, Team FYN Sports Facebook page. And Josh and Lauren Hunter are getting ready for Instant Replay. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Take us out here, Josh.